Jake burst into the room as if he had just delivered a verdict in court and was now about to announce it in a loud, triumphant voice. "You insulted my mother," he declared, glaring at his wife as if he had caught her committing a serious crime. "I've had enough. Divorce, that's it. I'm done." He stood proudly. "Our house goes to my mom, the car to my brother Mike, and you," he paused dramatically, "you get nothing." He expected Emily, like in some cheap soap opera, to burst into tears, fall to her knees, grab his hands, and beg for forgiveness. But she just sat there on the couch, one eyebrow slightly raised. "Is that all you've got, Jake? That's what you came here to say?" she asked calmly. That made him explode again. "Emily, you've crossed every line. My mother, she's a saint." He rolled his eyes heavenward as if expecting applause from above. "She came over to visit, and what did you say? Don't go into the kitchen, don't touch my pots." "How could you?" Emily looked at him silently, not angry, not threatening, just pitying. Jake, not getting the reaction he wanted, went on the offensive again. "I'm tired of your games. Tomorrow we're filing for divorce. And just so you know, the house stays with Mom, the car with Mike. I've decided." "And what's left for you?" Emily asked. "Me? I don't need anything," Jake puffed out his chest proudly. "As long as you end up with nothing." He really thought he had played his trump card. His face glowed with triumph as he imagined, years later, his ex-wife, poor, dirty, dragging a suitcase of junk she'd found in the trash. But Emily interrupted his fantasy. She reached for her favorite blue folder lying on the table and opened it slowly, savoring the moment. Jake's face went pale. He recognized that folder instantly. "Emily, is that?" "Yes, Jake." "The documents," she said sweetly. "Remember 2 years ago, in your fit of love and generosity, you transferred both the house and the car to me?" Jake's lips moved, but no sound came out. "You even said," Emily continued, smiling, "a real man gives everything, even his soul, to the woman he loves. And you personally drove me to the notary's office, remember? I even tried to talk you out of it. But no, you were so romantic. So now, dear, after the divorce, what do you get?" She smiled. "Exactly nothing." Jake dropped heavily onto the couch. His shoulders slumped, his triumphant glow vanished. The thing was, Jake had always been dramatic, hot-headed, impulsive, and hopelessly fond of grand gestures. When he met Emily, his courtship was legendary. The neighbors gossiped about his flowers. He sent taxis to pick her up from work so she wouldn't have to ride the bus, like ordinary people. He sang under her window with a guitar, though he couldn't sing to save his life, and once almost got punched by a neighbor for waking him up with a midnight serenade. 6 months later, he was calling Emily the love of his life, his one and only. 3 months after that, he got down on one knee at her office, in front of all her coworkers, with a pink, heart-shaped ring box covered in rhinestones. Everyone clapped. Emily couldn't say no. At the wedding, slightly drunk on champagne and adrenaline, he proudly declared before all the relatives, "The house I bought, I'll sign it over to my wife. And the car too. A real man should be generous." And he did. Everything went downhill after his saintly mother, Margaret, got involved. From the first day, she saw Emily as competition, not for Jake's heart, but for control. Only she knew how to cook soup properly, fold towels correctly, and choose the right wallpaper. At first, Emily tried to tolerate it. Then she began calmly standing her ground. The tension grew, until one day it all exploded. Margaret showed up unannounced, poked around the apartment, and finally stuck her spoon into Emily's pot of soup. "Please don't," Emily said, trying to stay calm. "You just tasted it with a dirty spoon. It'll spoil." That was it. The great offense. Margaret called Jake, crying about being humiliated, and he, the loyal mama's boy, dropped everything and stormed home to defend her honor. He, of course, forgot one little thing legally. He had no claim to anything. "Wait, Emily," Jake tried to regroup. "Didn't you once say everything would stay ours together?" "Sure," she sighed. "While we're married, it's ours. After the divorce, we divide things." "But there's nothing to divide, Jake. Everything's in my name. You set it up that way yourself." He gripped the couch, panicking. But what about love? Oh, love, Emily smiled. Remember what you said once? If I ever hurt you, may you keep everything. Funny how life listens sometimes. The next day, Her Majesty Margaret arrived with Mike in tow. Mike, at 35, was still a perpetual student who thought working was for suckers. They sat in the kitchen like they were in a lawyer's office. Here's how it'll be, said Margaret. You give me the house, and Mike gets the car. Fair's fair. And what's fair about that? Emily asked. Because Jake built the house, Mike chimed in. And he bought the car. Emily smiled, opened the same blue folder, and laid it gently on the table. You know what's beautiful about this whole situation, she said. All the papers are right here. And they all say, in black and white, owner, Emily Lewis. So, my dear family, the house and the car stay with me. You two get nothing. Mike stared at the papers as if he'd never seen official documents before. Margaret's face turned crimson. That's just cruel, she snapped. You tricked my son. No, Emily said calmly, standing with flowers in her hand. Your son signed everything himself. At a notary's office. A week later, the divorce went through. Jake tried to keep his dignity, but Emily saw his eye twitch every time he walked past the car. He clearly wanted to say, that's my car, but knew it was pointless. At the final hearing, he made one last desperate move. Your Honor, he said solemnly, I demand the property transfer be annulled because I was under the influence of strong emotions. The judge raised an eyebrow. So, you're claiming you were temporarily insane from love? Jake nodded eagerly. Denied, the judge said dryly, though a faint smile crossed his face. Emotions are not a legal argument. After the divorce, Emily stayed in her house with her car, her cat, and her trusty blue folder. Jake moved back in with his mother, and Mike remained a jobless student. Sometimes Emily saw them on the street, Margaret marching ahead, Jake trailing behind with her shopping bags, and Mike chewing something as usual. Emily wasn't a spiteful woman, but every time she got into her car, she smiled. After all, nothing can come in many sizes, and Jake's version of nothing just happened to include a whole house and a car.